Welcome 3D students. In this video we're going to continue working on our modern sculpture project, and we're going to add some more materials to the scene, specifically to the objects that make up the sculpture here. We've already used the material editor to access the settings for our gradient, our environment gradient, and we've added a matte shadow material to our plane. So let's get started. Let's use our middle mouse button to move the view of the material editor slate over a little bit so we have some room. And then we're going to start with a physical material right here. So click and drag that out. Another way you can put a material in the slate is you can just right click in the slate and select Materials, General, Physical. And the materials have nodes. And also when you select the material, you have the settings over here. It has a lot of input nodes and only one output node. So I'm going to click the output node and I'm going to drop it onto my sphere. And then in order to quickly see the changes I'm going to make, I'm going to use Alt-W on my keyboard to expand my perspective view. And I'm going to move my view over a little bit so I can see my object. And I'm going to click on the viewport settings here, the lighting settings, and I'm going to turn on active shade. And we've done this in class a few times already. Now you might see here that my scene looks a little overexposed. If your scene looks overexposed, you should probably go to rendering and use the exposure control settings right here. Mine's set to automatic right now. I'm going to see if no exposure control makes it better. No. And you can see here when that comes up, I can adjust the exposure value and the brightness here. So I'm going to try the brightness. You see that helps a lot, and I'm going to dial the exposure down a little bit. That didn't really do anything. Let's see what physical scale does. Not much. Okay, so if you need to do that, you can do that. You can also try linear or logarithmic and adjust the settings here. Okay, so I'm going to move this so I can see my settings a little better and make my window a little bigger. One of the first settings here is the base color. Right now it's gray. So if we click that color swatch, we can change that to another color. And you can clearly see that it is connected. We also have preset finishes here that just adjust these settings down here to preset sort of material looks. If I click this list, you can see there's a lot of things in here. I'm going to start with glass solid geometry. You can see here that that sort of made this object see-through now. And if we want to change the color of the glass, we need to use the transparency setting here. Click that color swatch, and we can change the color of that. So that is one material. Now if we want a different look on another object, we need to make another material. So let's click and drag another one out here. We can also name these materials. So I'm going to click this first one and name it glass, so I can stay organized. I'm going to put this one on both of these two rings that I have here. So before we play with the settings, let's make sure we have the right material selected here. It is applied to these rings. So let's try maybe a gold. That's a nice metallic gold. You can use whatever finish you want, of course. And in the next video, we're going to make a material that will make our pedestal or some other part of our sculpture look like brick or stone. We're going to add what's called a texture to the material. And I'll see you in the next video.